Good morning! What is the science behind attraction? Bakit may mga taong we consider as typically mas kaakit-akit, mas gwapo, mas maganda? What's sexy? Ano ba ang ibig sabihin when someone is attractive? Is it a universal definition? This Valentine's, we will talk about something about love, attraction, and of course, compatibility and the many things that goes in between and how is it related to our health. So first, as much as we want na our personality matters and how good we are as a person is the factor that makes us attractive, by nature, by science, yung physical aspect, yung unang-unang nakikita is the first factor of attraction. So, number one, when it comes to attraction, are the physical factors. What comprises a person that is attractive? Meron itong components. So, example would be symmetry. Symmetry is yung equal parts, yung magkapantay yung nasa kaliwa at sa kanan. Hindi mo nagkakaroon ng missing pieces. So, kompleto yung nakikita nating physical na kaanyuan. Because symmetry can actually be linked to good genes, healthy genes. Because if meron itong asymmetry, ibig sabihin hindi balance. Say for example, merong missing na isang kamay o di kaya merong isang mata na nawawala o di kaya merong gross deformity na nakikita o di kaya merong bukol sa kabila at walang bukol sa kabila. Yun ay indications that there could be problems when it comes to genetics. And so, asymmetry, kung hindi magkapantay yung kung anong nakikita sa kaliwa at sa kanan, might not be naturally attractive. And the people we consider as attractive, yung mga artista, yung mga iniidolo natin, scrutinize their facial features, usually meron niyang symmetry. So kung ano yung nasa kabila, ganun din yung nasa kanan. There is equal, universal, symmetrical proportions. And next would be the glow of skin. Bakit importante yung glow of skin or why is it a factor when it comes to physical attractiveness? Because the glow of skin, kahit pa external lang yan, it is also a window kung ano yung nasa loob. Someone with a glowing, radiant skin regardless of color. Regardless of color ha, meron tayong tinatawag na healthy skin. So it's usually free of breakouts, wala itong mga darkness, wala itong mga skin tags because all of those are actually somewhat related to health. Say for example, kung marami kang acne, maraming breakouts parate, it is a sign of inflammation. Kung merong mga skin tags, it's a sign of too much cholesterol in the body. If there are a lot of warts, so that could be related to hygiene or infection or exposure to certain virus. And kung meron namang wounds na sobrang tagal na hindi gumagaling, that could be an indication of too much sugar in the body or hindi magandang metabolic health. So our skin can actually be a mirror para siya nagre-reflect kung ano yung nasa loob natin. That's why when we see someone with a glowing skin, we instantly feel that they are in good health. We find them attractive. At hindi lang ito kailangan on opposite sex or in sexual terms, but it could just be an appreciation. You can see that someone has glowing skin and it looks good on them and kita mismo gusto nating nakikita ito. And how about body composition? Magkaiba sa babae at sa lalaki. Sa lalaki, we consider yung attractive, yung macho, yung muscular. Whereas sa babae naman, meron tayong definition of sexy. So yung sexy usually medyo trim yung kaniyang tiyan, yung Coca-Cola body. So merong bust and then maliit yung bewang and then meron tayong waistline na malaki. So that's the Coca-Cola body na we are used to. Although definitions of what is sexy evolve over time because of cultural influences. Like ngayon, yung gusto natin medyo payat na, parang stick na. But by evolution, yung ating definition of what is attractive is usually related to body composition. And I will show you why. So this is the ideal body composition na nakikita natin. So as you can see, the first part, yung muscular mass ng mga lalaki is actually bigger than females. So it's about 45%, whereas for females, nasa 36% lang. That's why by nature, by evolution, by science, yung typical, without the influence of culture, yung typical nating definition of what is attractive is yung lalaki na more muscular as compared to the fat component. So as you can see, yung essential fats ng lalaki is kakaunti lang, and yung even the stored fats is also less as compared to female. Yung female, less muscular, and then mas marami yung essential fats, and also meron ding mas malaking proportion ng ating storage fats. That's why yung mga babae, sometimes if the female is more masculine, meron na ngayong mga babaeng bodybuilders, di ba? And I'm not saying that they're not attractive, because for others, yun talaga yung hinahanap nila. But when you look at it from a child's perspective, yung batang wala pang influences with culture, they will associate instinctively yung muscular into more masculine, para siyang more lalaki. Why? Because our bulk of our evolution of our pagkakaroon natin ng existence in this earth as hunter-gatherers, muscle means strength, because as a hunter, yung mga lalaki that are more muscular means strength, means survival. Mas magaling silang makipag-away, mas magaling silang makapag-hunt. They can provide more for the food and needs of the family. Whereas for females naman, we actually don't need so much muscle, because by evolution, as hunter-gatherers, yung naatasan sa ating task as females is less on physical na strength. So we are the nurturers of the young. So we as women, ang pinaka-role actually natin is for childbearing. That's why we consider a Coca-Cola body as attractive, because by nature, it has something to do with tending to the young or raising a baby. So a big bust can mean you can provide a good amount of milk for your child. And also, yung malaking bewang naman or waistline is also indication that you have a pelvis that is compatible with childbirth. So, pwede kang manganak without difficulty. But of course, that is no longer true, kasi alam natin, regardless of the size of the breast, that can still be enough for the child. But by nature, a Coca-Cola body is linked to better fertility and better chances of childbirth. However, even if yun na yun yung physical na kaanyuan, there are still other factors that we should consider other than the physical factors. So this is just an overview of what creates an attractive person on first glance. And of course, yung first glance na yun, by psychology, yung love at first sight, it can be seen in a matter of the first 7 seconds of encounter. So that's why it is important that if you go out, you have to look your best, because first impression really lasts. And that first impression, it goes in our processing ng hindi yan conscious. It's actually unconscious processing. Isang kita mo pa lang sa tao, all of these things are already being processed in an unconscious manner. So hindi mo yan nalalaman, but that is already giving you a signal if this person is somewhat healthy, if this person can be a good candidate when it comes to mating, when it comes to having a compatibility, when it comes to childbirth. Because love in genetics is actually just about procreation, and it is about multiplication, and it's about passing on of the genes. However, times are changing. These are from the perspective of evolution and the perspective of science. And now we know that there are other things that we should consider. So physical factors, for those who are dating online, it can be distorted. So just be careful, kasi with all these filters na nandito sa ating mga gadgets, and of course, sa pagkukuha ng picture with angles, it might be a little different than the real thing. So if you are attracted to someone, and you already have that connection, I hope you get to meet them in person just so you can see the real thing. And of course, it may not matter as the most important thing, but it's a good sign. And the other thing, why you should meet the person you are chatting, you are communicating online, is because of the second factor of attraction, which would be pheromones. So ano yung pheromones? So yung pheromones is actually related to smell. I will show you a slide para makita nyo kung ano yung pheromones. So pheromones is like the smell of a person. Pero hindi ito conscious na alam natin, like it smells like coffee, it smells like perfume. No, pheromones is beyond that. So pheromones are the very minute na parang indistinct na mga natural scent natin. And this natural scent is excreted by anyone. And it has something to do also with our compatibility ng ating genetics. Pinaka closest that you can think of maybe is the blood typing, na kapareho ng blood type like that. And there's something like that also, but it goes with pheromones. So yung pheromones, these are the natural fluids na sinisecrete ng ating organs and glands sa katawan, like yung sa ating kilikili, yung sa ating leeg, in our sweat glands. Aside from their smell, meron silang smell na that is very subtle. It is not being acknowledged by the conscious brain, pero you will know it because there are people na alam nyo lang, they smell good. If you have someone you love, you can notice that you actually love their smell even without the perfume, kahit walang cologne, kahit anong silang ginagamit, you know that you like how they smell. And that is the pheromones. And mostly, if you like how the person smells, then you are somewhat compatible. You have compatible pheromones. So how does it work? So yung sinisecrete na fluids, na scent ng isang tao, it is very much detected by the other person. Vomeronasal organ detects the pheromones and sends a signal to the olfactory nerves. So nasa ilong lahat. Sabi nga nila, yung ilong natin meron siyang direct na connection sa ating brain, and that connection might be the fastest route when it comes to our sensation. So olfactory nerves, yung nerves na para sa ating pang-amoy, stimulate the hypothalamus in the cortex of our brain, which stimulates emotion. Yung hypothalamus natin is the center of our emotion. That's why sometimes when we smell certain scent, meron na i-elicit sa ating memory, meron tayong na-i-elicit na emotions, we suddenly feel a little melancholic, a little happy, merong mga emotions na nati-trigger because there is a direct connection from our nose, from our sense of smell, going directly to the center of our emotions. And lastly, yung pheromones trigger illicit emotions in the hypothalamus such as attraction, sexual desire, arousal, and many more. So that is the pheromones. That's the second factor of attraction. So again, for those who are just here, we have the science behind attraction, and the first usually is dictated by our physical factors. So it has a lot to do with health. And that's why body composition is our first what we see, and hindi ito nagdi-discriminate lang, but an optimum weight, not too thin, not too fat, because it will show your health status. And next would be pheromones. Your attractiveness has also something to do with the compatibility of the pheromones or yung natural scent nating mga tao. But of course, even beyond that, mas marami tayong nakikita na after the physical attraction, after the instant connection, maybe hindi lang yun enough. Because, of course, after everything, meron pa rin compatibility beyond physical. So, this is where the factor that will sustain the attraction. How long can you be attracted to one person? Hindi lang basta sa simula lang na gwapo at maganda at attracted na at magkakatuluyan na sila. Those are just the initial contract. Para lang yung pampatikim lang. But how a relationship, how compatibility will work long term, it has something to do that is beyond physical. So I will share with you yung ating compatibility table. Wait lang, hindi natin nakikita dito. Let's see if we can see this one. Yan. I'm not sure if you can see this. Tingnan ko. Yan. I'll check if makikita ninyo. So this is a special episode for our Valentine's special. Hindi ko siya makikita but I will just discuss it to you. Mahirap siyang ipakita. So compatibility factors would include your own creative expression, kung pareho kayo mag-express ng inyong mga sarili, how you communicate, how you even defend yourself. So yung inyong mga means and ways to deal with problems, yung inyong birth orders can even have an effect on that, your goals in life, and your decision making. So those many things, your intellectual capacity, your wavelength, if compatible kayo, those things also matter when it comes to compatibility. So compatibility factors, it's beyond health on our end, but if you want to be your best self, then actually being at your optimum health, being your most healthy self, can also bring out your most attractive personality. Because if you are battling sugar addiction, if you have cravings on food always, if hindi ka metabolically healthy, you're always sluggish, hindi ka makagalaw, hindi ka makapagtrabaho, you cannot do exercise, you cannot perform tasks, then you are actually limiting your capacity to do better, to do your best. So the science behind attraction, it goes beyond physical. It also goes beyond pheromones. It also is not just after symmetry, glow of skin, or body composition, but it's also has something to do with your innate health, your mental health, and your overall outlook in life. But of course, none of this can also matter when it comes to love. Because when it comes to love, when it is true, it is over and above any factors and considerations we ever thought we needed. Kasi nga, yun nga sabi nila, love works in mysterious ways. So the science behind attraction is there. You now understand kung bakit yung ibang tao is considered to be sexy, pogi, mas kakit-akit, mas attractive than others. But above all, you just stay healthy, you just be your best version, and love will just come to you, and love is already in you. So happy Valentine's, everybody. I hope you get to enjoy today and always, and don't wait for Valentine to be in love and to show your love to the people that you truly care about. Maraming salamat po. I'll see you again in our next video. Remember to always stay low carb, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay in love. Happy Valentine's.